It's the world's fastest growing religion, Islam.
Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world.
Islam is the world's fastest growing religion.
Islam remains the fastest growing religion.
How priests and preachers enter Islam.
Many of the miracles that Jesus had done, I found them in the Quran. There were even a couple of Jesus miracles mentioned in the Quran that were not mentioned in the Bible.
20,000 Americans every year decide to convert to Islam. These converts say they don't regret their decision at all.
Growing numbers of young Australian men and women who are converting to Islam.
One of the world's largest religions is gaining followers from a very unlikely community. A growing number of Hispanics are changing their religion and following the teachings of Islam.
4000 personnes en moyenne chaque année, généralement des jeunes, et de culture ou de foi chrétienne choisissent de devenir musulmans.
According to a report by Faith Matters, the UK is seeing a surge in Brits converting to Islam. In the last year, around 5,200 people in Britain converted to Islam. As many as 100,000 have converted in the last decade.
Warum dennoch immer mehr Deutsche zu Moslems werden? Martin Toroxel berichtet.
Census suggests many of them are turning to Islam.
Islam is the fastest growing religion in all of Canada.
Here in the United States, while the Muslim contingent numbers an estimated 7 to 8 million, it's growing rapidly. 20,000 new converts each year, 4 times as many women as men.
The number of converted Muslims in Norway increased to at least 3,000 in recent years.
How big Islam has become in Russia's capital city. Tens of thousands come to mark Ramadan, so many that some must even pray outside.
The number of Muslims living in Japan, though small, has more than doubled in the past decade.
Despite those statistics, Islam is the fastest growing religion in Europe.
That may be no surprise, since a quarter of the estimated 6 million Muslims in the United States are converts.
Laut einer Studie sind seit 2004 jedes Jahr rund 4.000 Bundesbürger zum Islam übergetreten. Das sind 4-mal so viele wie in den Jahren zuvor.
Growing numbers of white British women are converting to Islam.
I don't know if you're aware, but recently there's been a rise of Latinas converting into Islam. So why are they doing it?
Crossing over. Why so many young Australian men and women are now converting to Islam.
So what's going on? What is compelling so many young white women to convert to Islam?
What prompted your decision to convert to Islam?
I started just to have big questions about life, the universe and everything, and I started to explore lots of different answers to those questions, and much to my surprise, Islam seemed to be the one that continually came back to me with the answers that made the most sense to me.
What do you want people to know about why you converted?
I was seeking truth, and I found it in my religion.
So, looking at Angela today versus the Angela that you grew up with, do you see her as being happier today?
Yes. Yes, I do.
So you see this as a positive change?
Absolutely.
And Angela isn't alone in converting to Islam. In fact, an estimated 20,000 Americans each year become Muslims.
I'm quite surprised to see quite a sizable number of Muslims here in Korea. Were you able to find out some of the reasons that they turned to Islam?
Right. A lot of them have, of course, different reasons of how they were first introduced to Islam. Many of them I talked to, they first studied it on their own out of curiosities. And after studying it, they have peace and joy themselves.
Islam is growing faster than ever, with some studies suggesting it could eventually become the dominant faith. Maltese Polyboyko has the story.
Converting to Islam, the 100,000 converts now is up from an estimated 60,000 10 years ago. The majority are women with an average age on conversion of 27.
According to that same population projection, Muslims are the only major religious group expected to grow faster than the global population as a whole.
I would like to tell you that Islam is amazingly coming up with a lot of women who are entering Islam at a time when people are saying that Islam is oppressive to women, and also the priests, preachers, ministers like myself who have come to Islam are in great numbers.
A former female priest who spent more than 2 decades in the Episcopal Church is now speaking out after being defrocked because she embraced another faith. Today, Ann Holmes Redding calls herself both a Christian and a Muslim, but her move to Islam.
Well, our next guest did just that. After being a Catholic priest in Britain, he left to become a teacher and studied in Egypt, where he converted to Islam and became a Muslim. He is now in Ireland to spread the word of the Quran, and he joins us in studio this morning. Good morning to you.
Hello, this is Dr. Gerald Dirks, formerly the Reverend Gerald Dirks. In just a few moments here on The Dean Show, we'll be talking about my conversion to Islam. Please don't go away.
What brought me to Islam is me trying to convince someone else to become a Christian.
In fact, she says it was Jesus himself who led her to Islam.
You think Jesus led you to become a Muslim?
Yes.
Muslims believe in Jesus. We love Jesus so much, and we can't even be Muslim, really, if we don't believe in Jesus, because that's one of our stepping stones to our religion. We do have to believe that the Torah and the Gospel were a book that was sent to prophets from God.
I had left the local church. I just decided to go to God. For no reason at all, I just went to God in prayer and asked Him that I wanted the truth, no matter what it takes. I picked up the Quran and held it to my face and kissed it. And I stated, why hasn't anyone told us about this?
After going to Catholic school for 12 years, my faith needed a little bit more depth in it, and I was able to find it in Islam.
The concept of God was very bizarre growing up. I didn't understand how 3 could equal 1. And so when I heard about Islam and they told me about all the attributes of God, this was like eye-opening. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it.
If you're not Muslim, stop scrolling. Listen, before I became Muslim, I thought that Allah was a different God. It's not. It's the same God. It's the creator of the universe. Because I'm Muslim now that I know this. Not just because of that, but I learned a lot about Islam, and all of my original beliefs kind of already lined up with all of it. In Christianity, I was like, when people asked me about the Trinity, I literally couldn't explain it. I was like, wow, you're right. I haven't even thought about it like that. So it makes sense. Islam makes sense. Islam is so beautifully making sense.
The name exalted over and over in Islam is Jesus.
I was told that Jesus is the Messiah, who will come back at the end of time to establish the kingdom of justice and peace.
Not Muhammad?
Not Muhammad, the Christ, son of Mary. You cannot be a Muslim if you don't believe Jesus is the Messiah. It's in the Quran.
There's chapter 19 in the Quran is titled Surah Maryam, which means the chapter of Mary. It is an exclusive chapter that is named after the mother of Jesus Christ, Mary. And that is also another tenet of Islam, that you must believe that Mary was the greatest woman and the most pious woman ever. That is when it comes to women, Mary is on top of the list as being the one who we believe is the most pious woman ever on the face of the planet. And that is a tenet of our faith, to believe in Mary, that she was pious and that she was a virgin when she had Jesus Christ. And this if anyone wants to read the true, what they call the nativity story, the story of Jesus' birth, go read chapter 19 of the Quran. It will make you cry. It will make you cry, because it made me cry the first time I read it, because it's nothing like the Bible. It is in a more beautiful tone of language, in a more soft-spoken, in a more true manner than you can have ever read in any other book.
Start reading today.
Start reading today.
Start reading today. Start reading today. Start reading today.
We grew up in the Baptist world that I was raised in, and the ministry. If you go into the Middle East and find a Catholic or a Protestant, they pray to Allah as well. So, and then people look at me going, really? Yeah, the Catholics in their Mass will go, but I pray whatever, and Allah.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's not like a Muslim term. I'm seeing the message of God has never changed. I read the Quran, and I see that thread of the message of God from Adam to Abraham, Moses, David, Saul, all the way through to Muhammad. You go to the Bible and you find the way we pray in Islam.
Abraham fell face down on the ground. Moses quickly bowed his head toward the earth and worshipped. Jesus, he fell with his face to the ground and prayed.
What do you, as a Christian theologian, make of the prophethood of Muhammad? Do you have any thoughts about that?
I do think that Muhammad was a genuine prophet of God, and that he was raised up by God, and that the Quran is in some way an expression of God's revelation. So I do think that.
As a Christian, I consider Jesus a prophet, but he's a prophet of the one God. There's not several. So as a Christian, I worship Allah.
Credo che non è giusto identificare l'Islam con la violenza. Questo non è giusto e non è vero.
And as a Catholic, how do you view Muhammad?
As a very wise man, I see the beauty of Islam in a very strong way. A simple approach to God, a simple approach to prayer and devotion. I'm very touched by 5 times a day praying. I'm very touched by the Ramadan, by the fasting, the beautiful presence of God and the power of God. And as a Catholic, I need to learn from that.
Now, the most basic thing that I've learned, I think, in these 40 years is that Islam is a faith. It's a way of living before God, of responding to the daily commands of the Creator.
It's a very inclusive religion, more inclusive than Judaism or Christianity. Judaism has its chosen people, the circumcised. Christianity has its chosen people, the baptized. The chosen people of the Quran are all monotheists, any of them. From Adam on, there's an unceasing stream of prophets, beginning with Adam, coming down through Isaiah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, John the Baptist, Mary, the mother of Jesus.
Obviously, we want everybody to be Catholic. On the other hand, we do want people to be close to God. And if people find closeness to God in Islam, say, I think we would prefer someone to be a good Muslim than to be a non-practicing Catholic.
Christianity is on the decline in Europe, and something else is starting to take its place. Muslims will soon outnumber practicing Christians in Europe.
The growth rate of population of the different religious communities in the same period was for Hindus 16.8%, Muslims 24.6%, Christians 15.5%, Sikhs 8.4%, Buddhists 6.1%, and Jains 5.4%.
There will come a time, as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that Islam will enter into every home, even a home of hair, even a home of mud, even meaning a tent. There will be a person in that home who is Muslim. In the Sunan of Imam Ahmad, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, this matter will keep spreading as far as the night and the day reach.
Islam is the only religion growing faster than the world's population.
Islam is one of the fastest growing religions in America.
A new report by the Pew Forum shows Islam is the fastest growing religion.
Amina, Muslim Council of Britain, you converted from Christianity to Islam. Why do you believe Islam is right?
I can ask any question of Islam and it will give me a logical and scientifically proven answer.
Lindsay Wheeler used to have no interest in religion and called herself the ultimate non-believer. But after reading one book about Islam, she turned her life around. Now she's a Muslim.
Then I found the stories of Noah. I found the stories of Lot. I found the stories of David. I found the story of Solomon. I found the story of Zechariah, of John the Baptist, of Jesus. And guess what? These people were the best of mankind in this book. They were the best of us. They taught the talk and walked the walk. And the entire book is telling me to do 2 things. Number 1, worship God alone. Number 2, obey God alone. The same God that I found in the Old Testament, the same God that Jesus spoke about, I'm now finding in the Quran.
Start reading today.
Start reading today.
Start reading today. Start reading today.
Start reading today.